Hey, what's up guys, Nils here and welcome back to another video. So we're back in Anime Adventures where we're doing a whole bunch of progress lately, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about curses, relics, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Gojo because he's closely tied to the curses. Now, what are curses? So once you get your units pretty much like all nice and easy, as you guys see, we currently have our Aizen, our Metal Knight, and we have our Boros as well. Now, we have leveled them up, we have gotten a good enchant on them, we have evolved them as well. So what is the next thing that we can do to increase our unit's powers? Now, as you guys can see here, my Metal Knight is currently cursed. So what the curse is basically as an extra sort of enchant with a downside. You pretty much just gamble to get either increased damage, increased range, reduced SPA at the cost of the same exact thing. So it's pretty much just a gamble between the three stats. Now, how do you actually get the curses? In order to unlock a curse, you need a cursed finger. You need this item right here, the cursed finger. Now, how do you get these items? Essentially, when you enter a cursed academy here and you do an infinite, there is a small chance to actually get these cursed keys, I believe they're called. Cursed bomb keys, yeah, so there's a chance to loot those keys, which following up, you can use those keys here to enter the cursed bomb dungeon. Now, completing this is fairly easy, it's not really that hard, and it's gonna award you with one of the Sukuna's fingers. Now, when you use the finger, you're gonna get teleported to Sukuna's domain expansion right here, and if you interact with Sukuna, you can basically just gamble this to get a little bit of power. So I'm currently using it on Boros because, as you guys can see, I have a horrible curse right now. So we're gonna use our 5 fingers in hopes of getting something good on him. Now, ideally, we want minus range and ideally damage, I would say. So let me see, try again. Now, this is a good curse for the most part, like it's pretty decent. Unfortunately, the numbers are too low, like 4.7 is really low. I think they can higher up to 10% maximum. I've seen 9 point something percent, so technically you want something that's in this regard. Now if this like was the other way around, like 7.6% SPA or damage and minus 4 range, that would have been good. So you can kind of guess that we didn't get anything good. Now looking at our Aizen here, our Aizen is somewhat okayish. Now minus 7% range is a lot for Aizen, but for now it's decent, we're gonna keep it. And the same thing for our Metal Knight, like this is a pretty okayish curse for now, as I said, for now keyword. But unfortunately, I don't know if I should say unfortunately, I did roll Godspeed, so as you guys can see, my SP is extremely low right now on Metal Knight, and I don't know how the range is, considering I haven't really played with him on a max upgrade. I will check it when it's in Infinite, but anyway, that is pretty much when it comes to curses. Now, at the same time, while you're doing your cursed infinites to actually get those keys, you can farm for Gojo's evolution at the same time. Now, as you guys can see in my inventory, I have these 3 Rikugan eyes right here. Now, these are the materials that are required to evolve Gojo. Now, these can be a little bit tricky, and I will explain you why. So, the reason why they're a little bit tricky is that they're kinda RNGs in terms of drops. So, during Curse Academy Infinite, you have 3 bosses. You have Hanamo, you have Vogel, and you have Mahori, which each have a 10% chance to pretty much give you 1 eye. So you can tell that it's very RNGs. First of all, you need those bosses in order to get yourself those eyes, and then they have to drop it with a 10% chance, right? To give you an example, I have been fairly unlucky since yesterday. So 2 days ago, I got my first eye. Yesterday, I spent the entire day. I've done an infinite amount of infinites the entire day, and I got 2 eyes in the same run, and I haven't gotten a single eye besides that. Okay, so now, once you have those 6 eyes, you're gonna come over here to the side where Gojo is staring at the infant pretty much, and you can interact with him. And you see here, if you have the Gojo, the unit itself, you can teleport into his domain expansion. And there you go, this is the 6 eyes Gojo, so see here, there's some RP blah blah, and it's gonna ask you for these 6 Rikugan eyes. And once you have 6 eyes, you're gonna successfully evolve your Gojo into the 6 eyes Gojo. Now, this doesn't end there, kinda. When you make your Gojo into a 6 eyes Gojo, you can pretty much continue on to evolving your Gojo literally forever. So every time you have a whole bunch of eyes, you can come here to Gojo and you can increase your unit's limitless potential by 1. Now, what does that do? Every time you increase your limitless potential by 1, your unit gets a 10% upgrade buff, essentially. So you can infinitely stack that 10% damage on your Gojo. That's what it essentially translates to. Pretty good, but it is a pain in the ass. As I said, like, I spent the entire day, I got twice in one run, and then I haven't gotten a single eye ever since. So it's not that easy, while it is easy at the same time. It's up to you how far you want to farm, but I would say if you just do 1 or 2, maybe limitless, you're probably fine. I don't know if you should bother furthermore. Anyway, that was pretty much it for limitless. Now we're gonna go to the second source of power, which is relics. Now relics are items that you can equip to your units, which are pretty much unique, and you can use them just once. Like, one unit can only have one relic equipped, and there is a whole bunch of relics real quick, which I'm going to talk about briefly, as I don't really want to be too repetitive on them. Now, the first relic, which I would highly advise you guys to actually farm for, is a limited edition relic. It's going to go away here on the Devil Contracts, which I also spoke about it in the second part of the series, I believe. So there is a nail relic here. The rewards cost 500 bullets to buy, and it's a physical relic. So as you guys can see here, these are the stats from the wiki: 2 to 5% physical damage and 10 to 20% critical strike chance, and your unit does 15 to 30% increased crit damage. Now, these are pretty much low high roll stats, just like units have a 10% variance in their stats, and that's pretty much it. Now, that's the nail relic. It's a physical one. We're gonna move on to Gilgamesh right here, who has a whole bunch of relics. Now, the most important relic that I would highly suggest you guys to begin with, and you are gonna need this for this week's tournament a lot, it's gonna help you a lot, is gonna be the Miracle Timepiece. I actually have 2 of them, but I will grind for more because I don't feel like my relics are good enough. So I have this Miracle Timepiece right here. As you guys can see, this gives you magic damage, then it gives a random type of damage boost as well. And on top of that, we have Final Hour. It's a unique ability. So every 40 seconds, my next magic attack does basically 100% true damage. So this bypasses all resistances and whatnot. It's a lot of damage. Now, as you guys can see, this is unique, so you can equip only one of those Miracle Timepieces on a unit. The other relics, you can use like the same of them on different units, it doesn't matter. Now, as you guys can see in this stat right here, the chances for this are actually 2 to 5% for its flat damage, and then we have 70 to 130%, and anywhere from 30 to 50 seconds, so there is pretty big variance, and the stats go from 2 to 8% on the actual like damage type. And yeah, this is the best relic. Now next up we have another relic that is really good, and it's actually gonna be probably a must grind relic, the Mermaid Crown. So as you guys can see, it's pretty similar, 2 to 5% magic damage, but here's the cool thing: its water damage hit reduces the enemy's magic resistance by 1 to 4%. Now this is really good because our new pretty much meta support Nami is a water unit, so you kind of want to use this Mermaid Crown on your Nami. You want to farm it for your Nami, that would be really cool. And then you have a random roll as well for either magic penetration, water damage, or water power. I don't know what's better, water damage or water power. I would suspect that probably water damage is better, but maybe I'm wrong. And the other 2 pretty good relics that we have are 5-Leaf Clover and Clover of the Wind. Now, 5-Leaf Clover is a physical damage relic. It also has anti-magic damage, cannot deal magic damage, and it does 10 to 15% extra physical damage to enemies that have magic resist. And then you get a random roll. I would ideally say that you want the physical penetration, as the dark damage doesn't really add to most people. I would suspect that since this is a Black Clover relic, this was Asta's go-to relic, because if I'm not mistaken, Asta is a dark unit on its secondary damage. Maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. And we have the similar version of the magic damage relic, Clover of the Wind, 2 to 5% magic damage and an extra 10 to 15 magic damage against flying units. And then you have either magic penetration or air. Now this is something that you would use on your Metal Knight if you get magic penetration ideally. And there's units like Tatsumaki that are magic units. Unfortunately it doesn't hit air units, so it's not that good on her. But let me see, I think there was a unit that was like air. I think Julius is air, right? Julius hits air as well, and he is air on his type. Not entirely sure about that either, as I don't have a Julius, but I think he's air. So that will be something that fits for him. And then we have like a bunch of more basic relics like this Amplified Codex or Kunai, which is just physical damage, magical damage. They're just the basic relics. And that is pretty much it regarding relics. Like these are must farm relics. Now, there is one last relic that you could potentially use it. This Aranka crown right here, which you guys see. Now, this gives damage only in Karakora Town. Now, what is Karakora Town? Karakora Town is the legend stage that we used to do to evolve Aizen. So, if you do not have an Aizen, you can make this along the way as you're playing Karakora Town, as it drops the materials for it. But it's honestly not that big of a deal, like nobody really cares about that relic. And that pretty much concludes this video, guys. So as I said, just try to get at least a nail or two that's somewhat decent from the devil contracts before they go away. And then you can slowly start farming for the rest of the relics. I would highly suggest you guys to go for a miracle timepiece. Like it is a super strong relic. I still think that I should go for a better timepiece. Like this is just not good enough for me. We have a water damage here and we have lightning damage, but I do want to go for better ones. But yeah, anyway, guys, that was pretty much it for this AA video. I hope you guys have enjoyed regardless, and I'll see you guys all on the next video. Take care.